I don't know if this joke is offensive or not, but I always tell my friends I'm more Emirati than Burj Khalifa because I've been here longer. 10 years ago, I was in an accident that caused me fourth-degree burns on both hands and arms. It made me lose mobility in both of my hands. If someone tells you you can do something, take it as a challenge and prove them wrong. My name is Riwan, I'm 29 and I'm Egyptian with Palestinian roots, so I'm stubborn on both sides of the family.
Thank you so much for joining us, and please tell us about the incident. Anything is happened in your life into our YouTube channel.
10 years ago, I was in an accident that caused me fourth-degree burns on both hands and arms. It made me lose mobility in both of my hands, including my fingers. But after a year in the hospital and physiotherapy, I was able to gain some movement in my fingers again. And when I did, it was difficult to go back to university as I was still not fully capable of using my hands as much. But I learned to adapt. Like eventually I adapted because I'd like to say I'm a very determined person, even though my mom calls it stubbornness. But yeah, like I figured out ways to use my fingers differently. Like instead of writing like this, I would write with these fingers. And I remember one day going to my advisor in university, I asked her for every course that requires hand movement and finger movement. So I took everything from sculpting to painting to 3D design. And I remember asking her, I see those students with the big black bags and the lights and the cameras and the equipment, what classes are they taking? And she told me videography. And I told her I want to take videography. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yes. And that's how I became a videographer. From a day where a doctor told me I'll never move my fingers again, and here I am now, a videographer.
How you become videographer after this challenging in your life?
It was very tricky at the beginning because it's a male-dominant field. Most videographers are men. So I had to go figure out how to stand out between all those men. At the same time, people knew I was partially disabled, so a lot of my clients were underestimating me. But being determined and stubborn, I figured out my way through it, and I've worked with big brands like Zabil, I've worked with the Vox Cinema, I've worked with half of the aesthetics clinics in UAE, and yeah.
What is the major difference about the culture in Egypt, in UAE, and how you compare the things?
I think with other nationalities, they find some sort of struggle, or they have a culture shock when they come to UAE. But for Egyptians, I think, in my opinion, it's easier because we have one of the most dominant presence in media, and we have a lot of Egyptian movies out there, and apparently locals are a huge fan of Egyptian media. So I remember like half of the local friends I have speak in an Egyptian dialect with me. That's how much they love Egyptians here. So for me, I would say I adapted easily. It wasn't that hard because people here love Egyptians and they think we're funny and charming.
What is the best famous food in Egypt, which is the people love to eat it?
Okay, so the most famous dish we have in Egypt is kushari, but I learned recently that kushari is originally India, and Egyptian took it and changed the recipe a bit, and now kushari is now Egyptian, which is such a shock to me.
How did you came to UAE, and what is the best thing you find here?
It was my mom first, and then my dad followed her. They came here in '98, and I came here at '98. I came when I was 3. I was raised in Sharjah, which is the most beautiful city to start a family and have lived there with your kids. I was here, I remember UAE before any of the towers. In fact, I don't know if this joke is offensive or not, but I always tell my friends I'm more Emirati than Burj Khalifa because I've been here longer. And yeah, that's how I came to UAE. My mom came here as a music teacher, and my dad started here in a very simple office job. And a few years later, he became one of the founding managers of Global Village.
If you love to stay here, what is your message to the people about the UAE?
I always tell people that if my family and I had the chance again, we would still pick UAE because, like I said, my dad started in a simple office job and he ended up being a manager in Global Village, something as big as Global Village. I started with a doctor telling me I'll never move my fingers again, and I ended up being at the peak of my career as a videographer here in Dubai. I would love to say the same thing about Egypt, but unfortunately, it's unique to UAE that no matter what hour of the day it is, if it's 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 9 a.m., 4 p.m., you can walk safely on any street without anyone bothering you or harassing you, or without whatever you see on social media of kidnaps and theft. Those things don't happen in UAE.
What is the message you would like to give to our audience about the life and incident happen in your life, and how the girls can make their better future, and if they come here or if anything is happening in their life?
My advice is be stubborn. Like, if someone tells you you can do something, take it as a challenge and prove them wrong. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Karash Misha.